Welcome to Jane Jackson Careers, a podcast to inspire you to take your career to the next level. In this podcast, I chat with amazing professionals who are leaders in their field and find out what's made them a success. Many of them have successfully made changes in their careers. They may have changed industry, changed job function, made big city or country moves, or taken the huge leap into entrepreneurship. I also share practical and actionable career tips for those who want to explore what to do next in their career and aren't sure about what steps to take to get moving. Subscribe to this podcast for regular updates or visit me at janejacksoncoach.com.
This is Colin Gray from thepodcasthost.com and you're listening to Jane Jackson Careers.
Well, hello and welcome to episode 28 of my podcast. In this podcast, I'm going to talk about the loneliness of the job seeker. And the reason why I want to do that is because I recently was coaching one of my clients and he was having such a tough time because he wasn't from Australia, he was from another country and he'd been through a divorce and he has a young child, and during the divorce, things happen and you lose your friends and some friends take sides, and anyway, all sorts of things happened. And as a result, he lost a number of friends, and when this career transition happened to him and there was redundancy, he found that there wasn't an awful lot of support. And when it comes to career transition, it can be quite challenging. However, if you don't have support, then it becomes even more challenging. So I really want to have a chat about how you can develop strong, healthy relationships and hopefully relieve the loneliness of that job search process. So, are you lucky enough to enjoy healthy and happy relationships with a great support group? Or do you feel lonely or stuck with people who perhaps just drag you down? So let's have a chat today about this, because if you're feeling lonely or you're unhappy, the job search process will feel that much harder for you. Now, one of the biggest issues that many people struggle with is loneliness. And sometimes the people we do know and spend time with aren't always actually that good for us. But often as we go through life, we fall into relationships with people who aren't necessarily healthy for us, and it can be hard to extract ourselves from them. So, how do we build healthy new relationships? How do we strike out and build new relationships with new people? And just as importantly, move away from the negative relationships that we may feel trapped in, relationships that just suck the positive energy from our life and prevent us from building better relationships with more emotionally healthy friends. And I think for those of you who are going through challenging times, I think this probably will resonate with you. So the first place to start looking is within yourself, inside of you. Do you spend the majority of your time in the wrong relationship or on activities that take you away from good relationships? If so, what might be happening is that you're trapped in a cycle of temporary friendships and superficial relationships that might be briefly kind of exciting, but in the end rather meaningless. But while you may recognize that the people in your life aren't always good for you, what can you actually do about it? What can you do to build positive and lasting relationships? Where do you find great friends who can be the wind beneath our wings? People who love and support us through good times and the tough times too. The first place you need to look, and perhaps you might be a bit surprised with this, is within yourself. So think about, are you actually comfortable with yourself? You see, it's really impossible to have a healthy relationship with someone else if you're not genuinely comfortable with yourself. When you remove yourself from negative relationships and people who drag you down, you'll often spend more time on your own for a while. And then you might feel a little bit lonely. But if you fear the solitude, you risk in staying in situations or with people who may not be good for you. You may feel a desperate need to belong, whether or not it's the right situation for you to be in. The fear of being alone can lead you to making firm friends too hastily, even if they aren't the best choice for you. I'm wondering now, are you thinking that perhaps you're not good enough? And good enough for what? If you don't fully value yourself, you also risk not being your authentic self with others, as you'll be worried that the real you is not enough. Have you ever felt like that? Instead, you'll crave external validation of who you are and that you're okay by being what you think others want to see. This just creates a vicious cycle that takes you away from the feeling of peace that comes from accepting that you are enough. Enough in your own eyes is the best place to start. From there, you can build positive relationships with those who appreciate you for who you really are. Now, are you spending enough time alone, and are you happy spending time alone? What does being comfortable with yourself really mean? Now, what I believe is that it means being happy to spend time alone, relishing the freedom of simply reading, writing, learning a new skill, or doing anything that you enjoy yourself. Getting lost in the moment while enjoying simple pleasures is amazing for your soul, because when you learn to enjoy solitude, you won't need to have people around just for the sake of not being alone. And instead, you can take the time to seek out people who genuinely add something positive to your life. You know, I really like just being on my own. I love being with people as well, but there are so many times when just the peace and quiet, I can turn on some music, listen to what I want, fiddle around on the computer, maybe do some writing, and I find that when I'm doing stuff that I really enjoy, the time just goes by so fast. I don't need to have other people around me all the time. Of course, I love having friends around or family around, but if I'm by myself, well, I'm by myself. I'm doing my own thing. How do you feel when you're on your own? Now, when you feel comfortable and it's time for you to reach out to other people, why not think about the people that you've known before? Reach out to old friends. Once you've built a solid personal foundation for yourself and you're truly comfortable within yourself, you can start to build positive new relationships with other people. And the best place to start is often to reach out to the good people that you already know, but with whom you haven't kept in touch with regularly. Now, I'm just thinking they could be your family members or old school friends, people you've worked with before, friends of friends, even someone you met in a baby play group if you're a mum, or a cafe. But basically anyone you've always thought was pretty nice to be around. List the people that you wish that you had kept in touch with and make contact with them again. If it's been many years and you don't have their contact details, look them up on Facebook, Google, or LinkedIn. There's always ways to find people again. And this is how I found some of my old schoolmates again, and it's fantastic when we get back in touch. And it's really been mainly through Facebook and also through my high school alumni group, and it's just lovely to chat about the old days. Now, this may sound like a simple step, but when you reach out, you never know what positive outcomes might occur. And I'm a firm believer that the universe rewards positive action. You get what you give eventually, and to rebuild your life positively, you need to take action. Be interested in others. Another way to lay the foundations of a healthy new relationship is honestly to take genuine interest in the new people that you meet. When you help others, they'll usually want to help you too. Kindness begets kindness. Have you experienced that before? So think about who you could help today. Who can benefit from your skills, your knowledge, or your experience? Who will appreciate your time, your thoughts, and your company? Who do you want to build a tentative new friendship with? And what can you do that will make them feel good or valued as well? Being interested in others can also be as simple as just taking the time to ask about them. Remember the things that are important to them and find out what they care about. Ask questions and really listen to the answers. This is the basis of how you build friendships again. Sometimes when we've been on our own a long time or we're not feeling confident, we forget how to build friendships again. Now, not only does reaching out to help others without thought of your own gains, it will instigate a positive chain reaction, but it also stops you from focusing on just yourself, your problems, your worries, you all the time. But ultimately, it helps to put the other people in a healthier perspective, and it helps to put your own life in a healthier perspective as well. Interest isn't a one-way street. Genuinely nice people will care just as much about you and your interest. They'll want to talk about things you're interested in and go out of their way to help you if you need it. There are wonderful people out there, and I know there are times when, honestly, if you're feeling a little bit lonely, you just think, look, who's going to be interested in becoming my friend or wanting to help me? But give yourself a chance. Open up, and then you never know what's going to happen. How about just joining a group or an association? The quickest and easiest way to meet people who love what you love is to join an association or group that offers what you both enjoy. So whether you have a passion for a sporting activity, an artistic venture perhaps, book discussions, music, cooking, IT, spirituality, walking, find a local group to join. Not only will this feed your soul because you're going to be doing something for yourself that you enjoy, but you'll also meet others who share your own interest and passions. So if you struggle to identify a passion or interest in your life, just think back to when you were a child and you were naturally drawn to certain activities. What did you love doing back then? What filled you with joy? Not necessarily because you were good at it, because you simply loved doing it. What do you just like to do or wish that you could do more of? Now, practically, a place where you can look for groups is called meetup.com, meetup.com. It's a global site that helps you to search for groups in your area. And if you can't find a group that you like, you can start one of your own. I often jokingly suggest to my male clients that they can start a cycling group for men who like to wear lycra, if they like to wear lycra, that is, or find a book group, or a group who likes to picnic in the park if you like picnics in the park, or a job search group, or a small business group for inspiration. Meetup.com is amazing. You can find just about any group who likes to do something that you enjoy. Now, how have I made my own great friends in the past? When I moved from Hong Kong to London many years ago, I didn't know anyone. And I found it really difficult to meet people outside of work. I was living in Twickenham and I was working in Mayfair, in central London, and it used to take me an hour and a half to commute into London, into the city, because the traffic was so bad. And even if I took the train and a couple of tubes to get into Green Park Station where I had to go, it would take me another hour and a half to get home. And so after work, I would just want to go home, and everyone had to commute anyway. So it was really hard to make friends. But what I found was that because I actually enjoyed playing squash, I joined the local squash club in Twickenham. And I started playing on the ladder. I was really bad at it, actually, even though I loved it. But I did get fitter. I had fun. And then I played with lots of different people. Some I liked, some I didn't like. But then I met a lovely lady who eventually became my best friend in the UK. And I've even named one of my daughters after her. And we're still good friends 28 years later. We keep in contact. And despite the fact that I now live in Sydney and she's in London, we'd still really good mates, because we started off with that common interest. I mean, she just made me laugh because she had a really funny sense of humour. And so that common interest at the beginning broke the ice, regular squash games cemented our friendship, and the rest is history. Okay? So every time I've moved to a new city or a new country, and I've changed countries 5 times in my life, I found that sport, for me, squash or tennis or golf or dancing, has made it so much easier to find people I enjoy spending time with. What do you enjoy? It might be, perhaps you like watercolour painting, or you like sailing, or whatever it is. Find a group. Meetup.com, honestly, it's going to make life much easier for you. So I'd love you to accept this challenge. Start building healthy new relationships today. If you feel lonely, or you're concerned that the relationships in your life right now aren't positive and healthy as you like them to be, start doing something about it today. Be brave. Take that first step to making your life the one that you want to live. Enjoy happy, healthy relationships with like-minded people, and start having fun again. That's what life's all about, really. Let's just have a bit of fun. So I'd love to hear what works for you. Post a comment on my Facebook coaching page at facebook.com/Career Coach Sydney, and let's start a support group discussion. I'd love to hear from you. So facebook.com/Career Coach Sydney. You'll find me there. And remember, believe in yourself and create magic. So until next time, bye.
You've been listening to Jane Jackson Careers. Sign up to receive regular career advice at janejacksoncoach.com.